What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JP again with another video. And today I have the Poco X4 Pro. Now, really quick, I want to nip the whole discussion out of the way really quick, but to do so, let me go over this processor here. This has, oh heck, this doesn't even say it anyways. Never mind. This does have a Snapdragon, the new Snapdragon 695 5G 6 nanometer processor, octa-core. Reason why I want to touch on that really quick and get it out of the way is a lot of people are suggesting that the Poco X4 Pro is not a successor to the Poco X3 Pro, which I had on my channel around this time last year. And to me, it is. And it's not just because this has 5G when the X3 Pro did not, okay? The X3 Pro could have had 5G. It had the Snapdragon 860. It was the first phone with the Snapdragon 860, and it was, to my knowledge, the only phone with the Snapdragon 860. The 860 was just an 855 plus, if you will, or an 855 Pro, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, it was a successor to the 855 Pro, which was a successor to the 855. The Snapdragon 855 series it had a modular design, and the manufacturers they had the option to include or not to include the 5G modem at the time. Back in 2020. Now, of course, the Snapdragon 860 came out this time last year in 2021, but it was based on, the flagship Qualcomm processor of 2020. And to keep prices low, they, of course, Poco, a sub-brand of Xiaomi, opted for the 860 without the 5G modem. So you got a high performance device, for really cheap, sans 5G connectivity. So it was more powerful than a ton of devices that did have 5G. It's funny because I just did a video on the, depending on when you see this, I have a video coming of the Blue G91 Max, talking about how powerful the Helio G95 is compared to a lot of budget 5G chipsets. And the Snapdragon 860 is like, above that. I mean, it's more powerful than a ton of 5G, chipsets. It just doesn't have 5G. And if you check out benchmarks that have already been done for the Snapdragon 695 processor, because Poco actually was not the first with this chipset this time around. Motorola was. This is the first one I've gotten with that processor, but it's not the first one out worldwide. I think it's the Motorola G71 or G51 that has the Snapdragon 695 processor. But anyways, it outperforms the Snapdragon 765, the 765G actually, and of course, the 750G, which of course I think kind of goes without saying if it's outperforming the 765G. But then again, it is worth noting that the 750G did have newer Cortex cores, high-performance Cortex cores, than the 765G did. And if you go back to some of my videos last year that had the 750G, I went over that many times. I probably sound like a broken record. But nonetheless, and if y'all remember correctly, I also had a couple phones with the Snapdragon 690, and I was thoroughly impressed with that processor. And the 695 is no different. If it's outperforming the Snapdragon 765G, and 750G, which again that does kind of have to be mentioned because of its newer cores, it is scoring around the same as the Snapdragon 860. And you're going to see a lot more benchmarks that come out that will prove that. Is it outperforming the 860? No. But is it less performing than the 860? It's not. Again, it depends on certain conditions. It's going to depend on certain benchmarks. One benchmark might show you something different and the other one might do the opposite. Okay? But with the Poco X4 Pro, you not only, and take it from my personal experience, it performs the same. Okay? And so then you might ask, well, Justin, how is it still a successor then? If it performs the same, it's just the same as performing the less from a device a year ago. It's not a successor. Well, to me, beyond having similar performance, what makes this a successor is that you're getting not only that 5G connectivity this time around, but you are also getting Pogo's first, the Poco X series first AMOLED screen. This is just a rebadged Redmi Note 11 Pro, but it does have, double the memory and 2 more gigs of RAM than what you will commonly find with the Redmi variant. Of course, that's available in higher capacities as well, but you're going to commonly find that with 128 gigs of internal storage, which is expandable, I might add. This is too, and that will have about 6 gigs of RAM, whereas this has 256 gigs internal and 8 gigs of RAM. There was supposed to be, I think, a 128 gig with 6 gigs of RAM model, but I've only ever seen this one for sale with 8 gigs and 256 gigs of storage. And these same sellers on eBay sell the Redmi Note 11 Pro Global with the Snapdragon 695. And, the 128 gigs of internal storage and 6 gigs of RAM. So, if you want more, then this is the one that you're going to want to go with. And if you want less storage to pay less for it, then you're going to want to go with the Redmi variant, because it's kind of how it looks like the sellers are doing on eBay. There's 3 different sellers that are doing that I've noticed. But this phone, let's see, I got it for, speaking of my price, I got it for, I think it was like $360 or $370, and since then it's gone down some, and it's definitely worth that price, definitely. And again, the Redmi variant, without the Pogo launcher and stuff, which I really do like, honestly. I love Pogo's branding and their packaging and their launcher and stuff. It just kind of makes it more enjoyable, if that makes sense. But the AMOLED screen on this phone, it's an E4. I mean, it could have been an E3 at this price point. And it's beautiful screen. It does have a 120 hertz refresh rate as well. It has a very small punch hole. Honestly, I'm going to also, depending on when you see this, I'll have a video up of the Black Shark 4 Pro, which came out around the same time. And the AMOLED screen on this looks way better. But the Black Shark 4 Pro has a Snapdragon 888. But the AMOLED screen on this it just looks better. And I love the build quality on this phone. It's very squarish. I love the back design on that. Beautiful, beautiful phone, honestly. And I love the square design. It just feels really good in the hands. It feels really premium. It is Gorilla Glass front and back. I think it's Gorilla Glass 5 if I'm not mistaken. But it does have, let's see, let me pull up some more specs here. It does have NFC. It does have 67 watt turbocharging with the 5,000 milliamp battery. And that charger is included in the box. Samsung, Apple. Let me say that again. Samsung, Apple. Yes, if y'all are wondering, I get that from Flossie Carter as well. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. At least I'm willing to admit it. But the phone is blazing fast. The 5G works great. There is, you'll see me talk about it in the Black Shark 4 Pro video. Just like last year with the regular Black Shark 4. That seems to be the only Xiaomi device, because it is actually officially sold in the US. It seems to be the only Xiaomi device where VoLTE does work on not just T-Mobile, but AT&T as well. But I have found a trick, thanks to wirelessplace.com, mind you, where you can get this phone at for cheaper than what I paid for it. He also already has the Galaxy A53, which I ordered from him. His name is Bruce, by the way. Fantastic customer service. I've had to return things to him, once or twice. Fantastic customer service, y'all, really. But I'm not getting anything from this. I know Jay Will, I think, sponsors him, and there's like a discount sometimes that you're able to get from using his name or something. But Bruce hasn't talked me into doing this personally, so just keep that in mind. He just does really good business. He's a good person. But anyways, this phone here, man, what was I finna say? I brought him up for a reason there. But if you go on his website, and I'll put the code in the description. But it's one of those star pound, number, pound star, or whatever. And I've tried on other non-Xiaomi phones and it does not work. But on Xiaomi phones it does. And I'm able to get VoLTE on AT&T to work on here just like it works on the Black Shark 4 Pro without a code. Again, it's the only Xiaomi phone, that and the regular 4 from last year, that worked on VoLTE out of the box. And this was the first phone after I found that code, thanks to Wireless Place, where it works on here. And I've tried other Xiaomi phones since then. I haven't gotten my hands on any more actual Chinese ones, but your global ones, it works. And I'll throw that in the description there. But it does work on VoLTE once you type that code in. And it's permanent too, no matter how many times you restart the phone. Now, if you reset it, you probably have to put it back in, but it's super simple. But 5G works as well. But nonetheless, it's again, I love the design of the phone. It feels premium in the hands. The cameras they can use some work. That cameras have never really been Pogo's strong suit, as a lot of people know. This is it is a 108 megapixel sensor. The videos are decent. The photos are decent. Y'all know I'm no camera, guru, as I said in one of my last videos. But the selfie cam works really well. I think that's a 16 megapixel there. Don't hold me to that. But this does have, again, 8 gigs of RAM. It has the RAM expansion, the virtual expansion capability to add 3 more gigs of RAM. Internal storage, which I really love to see, honestly. The case is really nice. You do get your reading material. There's a SIM ejector tool in there, too. Again, you do get the 67-watt charger, which is awesome. But and this is a global variant. It does have the Google apps already built in. But it does have an always on display. I just don't have it on. Oops. But I don't care if y'all see this. But beautiful phone though. It's definitely one of my favorite designs. I absolutely love it. Anyways, y'all hit me up in the comments, and I feel like I'm forgetting something here. I did go over the bands here. Like I said, 5G does work on AT&T and T-Mobile. It does get VoLTE. It does get voice over Wi-Fi if you want that as well. It's a separate code. But yeah, man, I hope y'all have enjoyed this video, and I hope I've clarified a few things. If you're looking to upgrade your Poco X4 Pro, this is a fantastic phone. It has an AMOLED screen. It's 5G. Even the Poco X3 GT, which was slightly more powerful, with the Dimensity 1100, it was slightly more powerful, if pretty even as well, to the Snapdragon 860. You got 5G with that, and that worked in the US. But that also didn't have an AMOLED screen. So you know what I mean. I'm honestly interested to see what the Poco X4 GT will be. The X3 GT successor, if there is one. But anyways, hit me up in the comments, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.